Hi everyone. Today I'll be giving my take on the whole Derrick Jaxn situation. So my name is Sarah, and if you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more real talk about mental health. Okay, so if you don't know who Derrick Jaxn is, I am going to catch you up real quickly and fill you in. He's a relationship guru. I know he's written some books, so he's an author. He might also be a poet, life coach as well. He's pretty much someone who presents himself as a nice guy. He kind of talks a lot about, women knowing their worth and not putting up with men's BS, and all that kind of stuff, right? I believe he also talks about God a lot too, I'm sure there's like a religious component to, what he does. So now recently though, like in the past week or so, it's been uncovered that Mr. Jaxn has been cheating on his wife of 4 years, basically with multiple women and throughout the whole course of his marriage, right? Now, he's been with supposedly he's been with his current wife for 14 years. Like, I think they met in college and all of that good stuff. Now, from what I've read and pieced together, it appears that there are three different women who each gave an interview to a blogger, kind of, sharing and detailing their personal experiences on the matter, right? I mean, with Mr. Jaxn. And they also provided pictures and videos to kind of back up their claims. But I'm gonna tell you right now, none of that really matters because Mr. Jaxn himself has actually publicly, with his wife by his side, admitted to his infidelity. He did admit that he's cheated, multiple times with different people and all that kind of jazz. So let me just say this. My focus today would not be on Mr. Jaxn's infidelity. Not one bit. I don't care. And I say that as respectfully as I can, because again, I'm not the one in a relationship or a marriage with him. So to each his own. I wish him well. I hope all of that works out, right? Now, I will say this. While I was listening to one of the women, whom he had an affair with, something jumped out at me, right? And there was something she said, and it just kind of, hit me from left field. So that's what I want to focus on today. So this woman in particular, she stated that she contacted Derrick Jaxn because she had recently gotten out of a relationship with her boyfriend. And I believe she also said her brother had recently passed away. So, she sounds like she was in a bad place, right? So, that got me, right? Because I'm not gonna lie, that pissed me off. That pissed me all the way off because this woman was clearly vulnerable, right? And so she was reaching out to him for, I guess, relationship advice, mostly because of her, I guess, ex-boyfriend or what have you, because that relationship ended, right? And she detailed how, they met. He responded, and, they met, and I mean, off jump the same day, he was like ready to get to it, and so this is where I kind of want to pick up from, right? So this is what this video is about, is that, okay, we got to do better. We have to do better, right? Okay. If we need information, if we need support, if we need resources, we need to make sure that we're seeking out these things from the right people, right? We have to stop idolizing people. We have to stop putting these people on a pedestal because, number one, they're people. They're regular humans. Like, even, myself, I am a flawed human being. My clients know this because I make sure to remind them that I'm a flawed human being, right? Because again, I don't want any kind of unrealistic expectations, right? Because again, I try to remind my clients that, we're all in this together, we're all striving to be better than we were yesterday. We're all striving to be healthier than we were yesterday, right? So when you have people out there, these Instagram therapists or what have you, and life coaches or gurus, whatever you want to call them, right? And I'm only speaking of the ones who are not credentialed. By credentialed, I mean licensed, who are not rightfully licensed to practice, counseling or therapy or something of the sort, right? I don't like it when people kind of usurps, synonyms for counseling, or counseling related type of stuff, and just kind of, capitalize on it, for lack of a better term. They capitalize on it, right? So this was somebody who was making money. His livelihood was making money off of appearing as if he's a single man, right? Because mind you, this man was supposedly with his wife for 14 years. He did not start posting her until last year in 2020. Last year is when he started posting her. They have children. I didn't even know they had children. And I knew who he was. I had no idea this man was married with kids, y'all. I promise you that. So, and then of course, the excuse of privacy. Nope, that's not privacy. That's secrecy. Know the difference, ladies. Okay. Now, but again, all of that aside, I don't even care about any of that, whatever he's doing in his personal life, right? But the problem that I have is that he is capitalizing off of, all of these women's, relationship issues, pain, hurts, insecurities, desires, wants, all of that, right? He was giving advice out there about, oh, you shouldn't date if you are separated. I think somebody wrote in, or, one time asking for advice. A woman said that she had been separated for 3 years. 3 years separated. And, she was, wondering, was it okay for her to start dating? And he flat out was like, nah. He was like, nah, not at all. Like, no, slow your roll. Nope. That's what he said. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, this man is doing everything and anything with everybody but his wife, right? Again, I don't care about his infidelity. What I care about is the fact that, number one, now you're a hypocrite, right? And then number two, you are damaging people. You are leaving behind, more damage, more pain, more hurt, more. We're trying to get rid of our emotional baggages, right? We're trying to unpack those baggages, and all you're doing is piling it back on. And that's unfair. That is unfair. Now, this is the part that gets me, right? Somebody please let me know who holds Mr. Jaxn accountable. I'll wait. Nobody holds him accountable, okay? Because he's not governed and he doesn't answer to any licensing board. This is where I'm getting at, right? If you guys need advice, or you need support, or you need therapy or counseling, please seek out the right people, y'all, because these people just want your money. They just want your money. Just because somebody writes a nice little quote in some great font on Instagram or on Canva, does not mean that, they have the right competency in the lane of mental health and counseling to guide you, to offer you proper guidance. And so I find it very disrespectful. I find it very disrespectful to other therapists and professionals who are degreed and licensed. And by the way, I'm not saying he's not degreed. I know he did go to college. He does have a degree, but I don't believe he's licensed. You know what I mean? So it's easy to just kind of, throw a little title out there and say, okay, well, I'm giving out advice and I'm guru and I'm this and that, right? But all you're doing is capitalizing off of people. People are buying his books, so who holds him accountable? He's dating people, he's dating his fans / clients. What do you think would happen if I dated one of my clients? If I thought about dating one of my clients? That is unethical. That's not even in the realm of reason for me, right? Because that's just not what we do. Now, are there one-offs where it happens? Yes, there are. Don't get me wrong, but it's unethical. And those individuals are usually dealt with appropriately because they are held accountable to those licensing boards, right? So that's where I'm getting at, is that, if you guys, please stop entrusting your emotions to the wrong people, okay? These people are not credentialed. They're not licensed. Look, if you get a therapist, you can do an online verification check on them, okay? You can pull me up right now. You can pull me up right now in the state of Texas, and you can see that my license number is there. All that stuff is public information. It is not a secret at all. At all. Okay? So that's really what grinds my gears, honestly, because it's not cool, and all you're doing is further damaging people. So I don't think that's appropriate, and I don't support that in any way. And I wish I'm honestly, I'm over it. I'm over it because those types of people have been around for years and years and years and years and years. All they're doing is just capitalizing. They're taking. That's it. And you know what's funny about this whole thing? I know the men that he's been bashing for all of these years are finally like, okay. Oh, look at that. Look at y'all savior. Look at this and that. And you know what? And it's not really, and to be honest with you, it's not about that, right? It's not about that, because all he's doing is causing more damage. That's really what's pissing me off, because now some of those people might feel like, you know what, I've been to a counselor. It didn't work for me. It was a messy situation. Whereas it's like, no, you didn't go to a counselor. You went to some guy on Instagram who wrote books. Nobody's holding this man accountable. And the craziest part about this story, honestly, is the fact that one of the women, allegedly, whom he was allegedly, you know, cheating with, is a surgeon. Okay, this woman is a surgeon. One of the 3 women that gave the interview to the blogger is a surgeon. And he actually threatened her, you know, with all kind of craziness, right? And he actually put a gag order on her to not talk about this, to not talk to anybody and all that kind of stuff, because supposedly he's got $100,000 book deal coming out with TD Jakes. With TD Jakes. Which brings me to my next part. Stop going to the church for counseling also. Yep, I sure did. I said that. Stop going to the church for counseling. Now, that comes with a caveat, right? Unless your pastor is, again, credentialed, okay? Because there's nobody holding pastors accountable out here in these streets. God is, but I mean, come on now, let's be real. We're going to have to wait for that one right there. You know what I mean? For people to get their justice deserves. But before then, on this earth, there's nobody holding pastors accountable. We know what they be up to too. Mind you, let me say this. I am a Christian. I grew up in the church. I'm still a Christian. But I believe in a personal relationship with God. You see what I'm saying? So, and I have no problems with churches or nothing like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, I have had clients who have been damaged by the church. Okay, so I'm here to tell y'all, I had somebody that I spoke to in passing who wasn't even a client, who shared a story about how, you know, a counselor at church, you know, told her to journal, but yet also had her read her journal out loud in front of him. That's not how this works, sir or ma'am, okay? That's not what that's for. You know, that's not how any of this works, right? So yeah, this whole situation just pisses me off, but not for the reasons that y'all think. It pisses me off because, again, it's disrespectful to my field. I worked hard. I went to school, a whole lot of school. Okay, then after that, I went to more school. Then after that, then I had to take some tests. Then after that, I had to do some internship hours. It's a lot of them, okay? All this stuff takes time. And so for somebody to just wake up one day, roll out of bed and decide, ooh, today I think I want to be a counselor today. Let me go on and just, you know, slap some quotes out there in black and white. Let me, you know, whatever, whisper sweet nothings to women and let me just sell books. Like, no, there's no accountability whatsoever. And that's not okay. That is not okay, because this man, and he's still, at least up until yesterday, still wilding. He's still trying to capitalize off of his own situation. You know what I mean? So it's like, look, bottom line is this. Back to the church. Unless your pastor is, you know, like, has a, went to theology school, you know, and got, you know, properly credentialed, right? And again, I'm not knocking none of that stuff, right? Because I know plenty of Christian counselors. You know, I know all of that stuff exists, right? And I support that, because guess what? They are bound to they are held accountable. They answer to somebody. Derrick Jaxn answers to no one. That is, in a nutshell, that is my problem. Derrick Jaxn answers to nobody. Okay, so if he's hurting people or he's giving out terrible advice, which again, therapists do not give you advice. We do not give you advice. Counselors do not give advice. That's not what we do. Okay, this is evidence-based. This is evidence-based therapy. That's what we do. Okay, cognitive behavioral therapy is evidence-based. It's supported by evidence. I didn't roll out of bed one day thinking, "Ooh, Lord, let me give my homegirl some advice real quick and call myself a therapist." That's not how this stuff works. Okay, it's not about that, right? So that's really the biggest issue that I take with this, is just the fact that I feel like he's just hurting more people. And again, this is why I created this channel. I want us, and I'm talking to black people. Yes, I am. Why am I talking to black people? Because I'm black. So I'm talking to us. I'm talking to us. We have to do better, right? We have to go to the right resources, okay? Go to the direct source, okay? I'm going to put some information in the description, right? So that if you are somebody who you don't know, if you need counseling, you need support, you don't know how to get started, feel free to message me. I would be more than happy to point you the right direction, you know? Sometimes just call the member number on the back of your insurance card if you have it. Sometimes look on psychologytoday.com. You can search by your insurance. You can search by male, female therapist. You can search by, you know, ethnicity, you know, and I know what it's like, you know, to want somebody who you feel can relate to you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't ever feel bad for wanting somebody who looks like you in therapy. That is your right. And that's okay. Okay. And don't feel bad if it doesn't work out with the first therapist, right? Because it has to be a good fit. If it's not a good fit, guess what? On to the next. That's perfectly fine, okay? Don't let nobody tell you no different. But let me tell you something. Stop paying for these Instagram life coaches slash whatever it is that they're called, you know, relationship gurus and experts. Stop paying for their books and stuff. Stop spending money for that stuff, okay? Let your insurance company cover your therapy. Let the EAP, Employee Assistance Program, cover your therapy, right? So you don't have to come out of pocket for any of that stuff. Don't be buying no books. You know, that's fine if you want to buy books to, you know, further your understanding or for self-help. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, don't idolize these people. At the end of the day, they're only human. Your pastor is only human, okay? I'm here to tell you, your pastor is only human, okay? Again, nothing against the church. I just need whoever proclaims that they're giving any kind of therapy or counseling, I need you to be credentialed. And I need you to be able to show me something that backs that up. That's all I'm asking for. That's the very basic of the basic that I'm asking for. Okay. So anyways, guys, don't forget, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to put out some, you know, some more content regarding mental health. I want to, you know, start tackling some trending topics and, but you know, again, through the lens of mental health, right? Because again, it's easy to delve into, you know, the women, what are they doing with his wife? And she looked crazy with the bonnet. It's easy to get into all of that, right? Everybody got an opinion about that. But to be honest with you, I don't care about none of that. What I care about is who is holding this man accountable, right? Because at the end of the day, this is a cash grab. That's what it seems like to me. And that's not okay. Look, I'm all about get your money, get your bag. I'm all about the hustle. That's fine, but not at the expense of other people, not at the expense of somebody else's psyche, okay? And not at the expense of damaging more of our own people. That's not cool. Cut it out. Anyways, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Take care of yourself and each other.